is going on, everyone? Guys, gals, aliens, and degenerate crypto enthusiasts. What is going on? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Dano Crypto. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, just to give you a little scoop of what we do here, we go live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have been doing this for about a 95-week streak on doing these live streams, coming to you guys whenever it is bullish, whenever it's bearish, whenever it's neutral, whenever it's boring, any type of sentiment in the market and time. We are going to bring you the charts. We're going to bring you the prices. We're going to bring you the news. We're going to bring you all of the stuff that is hopefully entertaining you during these times in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Now, do the housekeeping for me. Just hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, and welcome all the people that have been tuning into the channel. Welcome to the Dojo crew. We got Headband in the house. We got Fathead Dave. Just want to give a quick shout out to all the people that are coming in early right now. We're just getting started. Sorry, we were just I was saying early, but actually just realized we've started a little late. So do apologize for starting a little late. But yes, make sure you guys are tuning into these live streams, because I do want to point out the fact that whilst there were a lot of accounts, and big accounts too, I mean, big accounts like Capo and God, who else was really bearish? It was just accounts that I haven't really followed myself, but they were popping up on my timeline, and this wasn't one of them. We love Rect Capital. We actually were going to show some Rect Capital stuff, but we were actually meant to go here. But yeah, we wanted to let you know that there were a bunch of people that were actually bearish and calling the top and saying, hey, this uptrend isn't going to last. And it's funny how they're all drawing their trend lines from like the wrong resistance level. And Capo was one of them, where he had his trend line drawn at this weird spot. And I'm like, why are you drawing your trend line there? Draw it the other way, and then you'd realize that the price is about to break out to past 120K. So it's really crazy that over 125,000 people have subscribed to this person's TA, and he's wrecking them. Because what if even half of them, or even a quarter of them, are paying attention to what he's actually saying and following and doing and mimicking exactly what he's calling? They're getting wrecked. So what we say here on this channel is we give you guys a bearish case scenario, and we give you a bullish case scenario, and we stay relatively right now in a bull market, in an uptrend after a Bitcoin halving, is to be bullish neutral. You have to be bullish neutral in an obvious uptrend and in a parabolic banana run zone. So it's not being naive. It's not being a moon boy. It's just the trend is your friend until the end. And so if you are following someone and trust someone's opinion that they don't understand this, and they have been not seeing the writing on the wall, you need to unfollow them immediately. Like 100%. Unfollow them, because all they're doing is skewing your perception and your ability to actually discern when there's a bull market in an uptrend, or when there's a bear market in an obvious full downtrend. Not fake out downtrends, but an actual downtrend. So this is very important to do, and I'm not going to do the whole I told you so thing, but look, I posted my video about this, where I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going here this year, and this was 24 hours ago. I made this video, and pretty much the price targets that I was calling for in the short term for the Fibonacci extension levels all just hit. They all just hit. They hit for ETH, they hit for Bitcoin, and I've been calling these prices for the past couple weeks. Even though we've had some of that bearishness, I was like, look, the exchanges can't range this damn thing any longer from what they've already done. It's bound to start to pop. And I think what happened is we also got a massive wave of liquidations and a short squeeze on the bears that were betting on Bitcoin to be exhausted and to go into whatever the CME gap was. There was a CME gap at a pretty low price. I think the gap was, if we look real quick, the gap was, I think, let's see where that gap was. yeah, there's a gap at like 113 or 115, and that was a price call for a gap fill. There's also a bit of a gap in between. Let's see, like a 106. I think there's a gap there, and that never. I don't even know if that got filled. I think, did it get filled? Yeah, I guess it got filled. Maybe if you look on the 4 hour, it'll be more revealing. Yeah, so you got that one, and yeah, there was a couple of gaps, but then they ended up just getting filled. So, and then there's also some really like big gaps around. I think there was there was, okay, this one right there. That was the one that never got filled. Was this one? That's the one. Yes, that I was trying to find the big one. It was from 91,000 to 93,000, and so this is basically what Capo was saying. He was like, from this point right here, Capo is like, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go back into, we're going to go down mega, and basically do one of these. Because he was looking at it like this. He was like looking at it as this is probably what he was thinking. So I'll give him some credit. He's probably like, look, we're going to do one of those. Just a mega M McDonald's pattern. But this is my TA. I'm like, this is kind of where I'm at. I'm like, we're more on the cards of a breakout out of the major cup and handle, because if you're looking at this in a macro, you can see that this has been a stopped out Wyckoff accumulation. So this isn't like a bear trend going down. It's actually a Wyckoff accumulation and fake out from the institutions and big money and the exchanges. And this is how they were able to run it right as low as they could. As low as they could. To then accumulate more and run that B up. Look, because this is what happened. I mean, you can see it. This is a macro Wyckoff accumulation, which I'm learning a lot about. I've really started to see this in the charts, where I never knew what it was, and then I was like, what is this? This Wyckoff accumulation, Wyckoff theory, and this is essentially what it is. The price gets ran, and you can see it even in small waves right here. This is a bigger time frame one, because it's extended over a period of 4 of 5 months, from January all the way to here. It starts up here. It consolidates down. It hits a low. It recovers. It usually hits about a lower low than what you see in the first drawdown. It gets bought back up, and then it does this little consolidation. Sellers are selling right here, gets a little bit exhausted, and then eventually it gets ran back up to the previous point where it consolidated to begin with. That's what's so fascinating about this, is that at the point where it then consolidates to that low and goes right back up to the point, if you just look in this is why I think it's very important to look at even just Bitcoin and also Ethereum in a very zoomed out perspective, especially when the institutions now have a hold of it. And this is how also the exchanges are able to do this type of accumulation. So it's really, really fascinating. And once you start to see it, you're like, oh, okay, well then that makes sense. Then that would make sense why they would bring it that low to begin with. And then you see the buy pressure come in, and see if Capo and all the bears would understand that and see that and say, well, liquidity is the name of the game. It's and the price, and especially with Bitcoin, because of the nature of the supply and demand, you can't think of it like a normal asset or like a stock on the stock market or something like that. It's completely different. It's completely different. Like, the mechanisms are acting like gold, but in a hyper fast way. And gold was doing the same thing. We'll compare that chart. So you saw that cup and handle that was on Bitcoin. You go to the metals, you go to gold, and this is ultimately what happened over a longer period of time. So remember, because obviously, Bitcoin is just from 2009, and you go from gold's point where it started to form cup and handles in 2012. So this was post financial crash where we hit that bottom, and the bottom of the financial crash in 2008 was around November, and that's where gold eventually bottomed out and broke out. And from there, the Dixie and the dollar went down, the stock market went down, but gold went up 183% then into 2012 in the next 4 years. So, and then the stock market also recovered as well. And then you can see that from that point on, gold set a trend that the dollar was not good to be in, and you needed to be in gold and precious metals, and also be in hard appreciating assets and commodities that are generating a percentage rate against the dollar. And also, it's just like, yeah. So, I mean, I guess this is just that right there. Just anything that was performing against the dollar. And gold was and I'll give it to Peter Schiff, because if you were in that mindset that, wow, the dollar is just like getting crushed, the dollar's getting crushed, and represented by the DXY, you can see how the dollar was just crushed. And from the 2002 all the way into 2007 or 2008 and 2012, the dollar was just consistently going down. And shout out to everyone who's here. Let's go. We got Lasers. We got Don Cabrera. We have Mr. Casely. Shout out to Mr. Casely. I don't know, where's my chat? Oh, there's my chat. I was like, I should be having some chats pop up on the screen. Let's go. But yeah, so this all makes sense. Like, this all in a macro standpoint now. Like, this is what I've been trying to train my brain to look at the charts on the monthly, the weekly. I do this with the altcoins. With the altcoins for crypto, I'll put them on the weekly and look at like a weekly chart for these coins, because then you could really see a bigger picture. Like, for instance, we were talking about the cup and handle breakout for Bitcoin and gold, but look at this cup and handle forming on the weekly for Aave. And Aave is one of those like blue chip DeFi lending protocols that, if you guys remember, we've mentioned it, the World Liberty Financial Wallet, I think we closed that tab, but we've talked about it. We've showed the World Liberty Financial Wallet is staking all of their stable coins and all of their ETH in Aave. So this is just like kind of like a no-brainer, easy kind of focus that you can have on even just simple DeFi protocols that are ETH legacy ones that are probably going to still pump just as well as they did in the previous cycle, and maybe even just crush into all-time highs. But it's going to take some time. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, because we like to think that these altcoins are going to just explode overnight when Bitcoin dominance is still kind of high. And also, it's Bitcoin dominance, obviously. It's dominating right now. Bitcoin is dominating the space, and it's reaching just like it just basically cleared and overextended our price call. Look, and if you were using Fibonacci extension from the recent all-time high top price right here for Bitcoin and bringing it down to the low that we hit of 98, this is where all of these Fibonacci levels were priced in. You see the 1.618 was at 120K, and I put it, I was like, look, we're probably gonna get, well, I said, once we break this, we're gonna shoot to 120. I have receipts. I was saying it for days and weeks that once we break 115, which I marked that price, I said, once we break that, we're going to see a mega candle to 120,000. And if you guys have been watching, and a lot of you were, and you've been on the live streams every day, then you remember me saying this. So I have to remember and like remind myself that, like, you know what? It feels good to actually be right. Because sometimes we are wrong, but whenever you're right, man, it feels good, because it's just proving that, like, you're getting better at the charts. You're getting, like, you know, we are getting better at looking at these charts and analyzing this price action. And it will serve us in the future, because there's always going to be a chart to trade. That's what's it, guys. It's mind-blowing once you realize that there is no FOMO. There is no FOMO, because guess what? The charts ain't going anywhere. Do you think it goes up like forever? No, obviously look, there's a wick right here. Look, there's it. So it's consolidating. If you want to still take advantage and trade this, you want to trade it. Look, traders are taking advantage of this right now. We hit that tippy top 123. You could see a clear on the 5-minute bearish divergence right there. And also, if you go bearish divergence, where you can see the chart and draw a trend, and it's going from left to right, going up. And then on the RSI, if we have the same thing happening, but it's on the opposite, then that is your bearish divergence. And that's usually 85, 90% of the time, you're probably going to consolidate down into previous support, which you can see now here easily on the 5-minute. That's why I like the 5-minute. This is honestly like one of my favorite time frames, because you can see immediate price reaction, but also see where there's clear support from where we were like bounced off, you know, from like yesterday. So for, you know, on the 13th, you can see that there could be a level right there. Easy. And then also you mark these, and then you can say, okay, you can set, and you can do this. You can, on the price line, add an alert. So then whenever it gets there, you can strike with a limit order. Or you can go ahead and, you know, say, okay, well, that's that price, 118,968. You can go into, for instance, anything like, and we're going to go over the trades that we're in too. The trades are still open. We're still in the ETH trade. We're still in the Bitcoin trade. So say I want to put a limit order in on that spot for Bitcoin. We're going to go to the 5-minute, and I can see, you know, support 1,800 around there, maybe around here. And I can, if I have liquidity, I can go in and just put in a limit order just like this, click limit, go in, copy that price, and then figure out where you want to go long. And that's how you can actually scale into these trades and continue to be buying the dips and the lows. And then, especially because if it's continuing to be in an uptrend, so because we're going to see those consolidations. But my point is that the charts are always there. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Like, if you believe in crypto and you think that crypto is going to be the next giant financial sector that is just going to explode like the internet, then you know that we're still massively early. Like, we're really, really early. And so the charts aren't going anywhere. The some coins will fall to the wayside. Yes. There's going to be projects that are going to no one's going to talk about anymore. I got reminded of one. Someone on the timeline on X said, does anyone still hold Injective? I mean, when was the last time you heard of anyone talking about Injective since Pump Fund and launch pads and Bitcoin all-time highs and the ETFs and the tariff talk and all this stuff? No one has talked about Injective. But I remember last year and the previous year, Injective was all the rage. but no one talks about it anymore. Isn't that fascinating? It's just like, that's just what happens. It's just like there'll be a coin everyone's talking about, and all of a sudden it's just like fart in the wind. And then this is why I believe like strong memes, like honestly, like what's happening with Pingu right now, and then I think with Pepe in terms of trading volume, and then there's other meme coins obviously that we've talked about that are getting a lot of market attention, and ones I think deserve a lot more market attention, but it doesn't really matter because they're just going to pump with ETH regardless. Market attention wasn't even that strong last cycle. There wasn't really that many people in the market, and these things still pumped like massively. So it's really a matter of ETH. That's also a topic of discussion we're going to bring up for a little bit in today's live stream. Is that like it's still ETH, guys? Like, I don't know why you keep thinking that it's not ETH, but it's just because a lot of these people were mad that they bought the top at 4,000 whatever, and they've had to ride it down all the way to 1,000, and it's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, because Bitcoin was the same way. Bitcoin is now sitting at 120 some odd $1,000 for one Bitcoin, and at a point just 10 years, 12 years ago, you would have bought a Bitcoin for $1 and under $1. Let's just say even under $5. You had an opportunity, and these people had to ride Bitcoin from $5 to $100, from $100 back down, and then from $100 to a couple $1,000, and then from there back down, and then from $1,000 to 10,000, and I mean, just there you go. So you have to get the short-term mentality out when you're thinking about your long-term bag investing, where you're going to grow true wealth, where you're like, this is my bloodline retirement fund. We all for sure need to have that. It's very important. And we all do. We all wish we knew back then. And think about it, like even just 4 years ago, we still had an opportunity to double down, but it's not an easy game. It's just one you have to stick with, and it's going to be tough sometimes. You're going to sell too early. You're going to sell too late. You're going to do all the what you're going to make profits. You're going to actually do something right. You will like have something pump and take some profits, but there's going to be a very much roller coaster up and down journey, but it's the one that I think because crypto's so new and it's such a new sector, that we're still thinking in this short-term mindset, and it's only going to damage us. Like, we have to think about it very much more long-term, and Bitcoin is a great example of long-term belief in what is the new technology. So this is where my head is at. But all in this, I think one of the most valuable skills that you can learn is to learn how to trade. I think if you can learn how to trade, and not to be a day trader. I'm not even saying to be a day trader. I'm just saying to be able to look at these charts and see where you can make extra money by learning a little bit of even just like support resistance, just like all of those things that can really actually increase your wealth over time by having this valuable skill. I mean, this skill that you can learn is the difference between, I think, just like decent gains, and then also just like mega life-changing gains. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Because I saw a post where someone said like, you just need like 100 you just need to be at the charts every day. You need to be having all the plays. You need to blah blah blah. And then someone was like, and I think it was Ansem who replied and said, "Bro, you only need like one good play a year. If you time things right and you can analyze the charts in a macro perspective, then you could have gone long on hype when it was like at freaking $15. Low leverage with like, you could have gone 5x on hype. You could have gone 2x on a lot of these things a while ago at the mega like depths of Hades lows, and been like these like and then now as they're breaking out, and some of them, like for instance hype, $46. That's one play. That's one play. So there's a lot of different strategies that you can take. Some people like the action of doing the day trading because guess what? I've noticed losing money or even making money, it's way more exciting than just putting in one trade 5 months ago. You know, that's the market psychology that you have to break sometimes if you're wanting to play the long game, is that like, wow, all I have to do is just be okay with being bored. Be okay with being bored in the market. Because the moment that you start to, like, you're like, you get too antsy, you want to make too many moves. That's usually, and I'll ask you, isn't that when you've lost the most? Isn't that usually probably when you've maybe like, you're like, I probably shouldn't have done that. I could have just chilled, been patient. And we know the long game wins the race. It's like time in the market beats timing the market and trying to always move around. Now, this is, I'm telling you from my own experience. I'm not regurgitating some crap that I heard on YouTube. Guess what? I've done this the hard way, where I've learned, I've turned $50 into $10,000 from trading. I've turned $100 in an account to $10,000. I've done it. I've practiced what I've preached, but then I've also made the mistakes that will make those gains go away really fast. So I'm telling you from my own personal experience that this is where this is coming from. It's not something that I've read. It's something I've directly experienced. And you guys have probably, if you've been watching the channel long enough and on these live streams, you've seen it live. I've shown you. Which a lot of traders and people on streaming won't. They won't show you. They'll just do TA and tell you that they're in the trade, but they're not showing you the trade. I'm showing you. And it's sometimes in sheer utter embarrassment, where I've literally, where I've gotten rocked on the screen. But it's part of the journey. And it's how I wanted to operate on this channel. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know where I was going with this. I've ranted way too long. But yeah, I think the point that I was trying to make is that the skill of just like learning how to trade and figuring out what your edge is, if you're good at seeing the macro trend or the short-term trend, so that you can just kind of come in and out of the market. You're like, okay, cool. I see where there's like the market's cooled off. It dipped a little bit. Okay, I could probably, boom, I can strike here. And then you can kind of assess what you want to do, and or you start to figure out how you are as a person when it comes to investing, or your risk profile, your risk management, and also how you manage yourself. All of these things, it's crazy. You start to learn about yourself when you start to get into crypto and start to manage your portfolio, your trades, how you react. It's fascinating. I love it. I kind of, that's what I think has hooked me the most, is that like, wow, this is actually a very interesting means of a catalyst to really sharpen you up, teach you about money, teach you about yourself, and then in all of this, you become a better person and you end up becoming more rich. If you can basically battle the biggest enemy, which is yourself. It's just yourself. It's all you. Everyone is. Some people are want to try and blame the market or blame whatever. Oh, I got scammed. It is your fault. And until you learn that, and until you accept it, and until you know that no one's coming to save you, it's only you and your conviction and your training and your discipline and your ability to see where you've gone wrong and where you can fix it. That's the only thing that you need to understand and focus on when it comes to this stuff. And everything else will become more clear. Because it has for me. All right, so how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling today? How's everyone feeling on this Monday? I mean, it's crazy. We got some mega price action happening right now. What I was thinking though, it's funny. The moment that Bitcoin starts to do this, I really want to. It's like now, what other coin do we look at for levels of resistance and support that we could look at in this like price zone? That is the second largest crypto. Well, guess what? It's Ethereum, because now Ethereum hasn't broken its all-time highs, and Bitcoin right now is just breaking all-time highs like crazy, because it's like it's getting into the banana zone right now. So now that Bitcoin is just in price discovery zone and it's just in the clouds, there's nothing to stop it. I mean, this is where a lot of TA people are just saying like, hey, I mean, like, just be prepared for just Bitcoin to continue to keep going up here to 150K, because it's just like it's broken through this wall. Like as they say, you know, the train is going fast now. So now what is the next best thing that you could be looking at? I think it's Ethereum. And yeah, to Hyro, shout out to Hyro. Hyro made some epic calls on Ethereum recently. If you're following him on X, if you guys go and check out his X profile, it's you go crypto. I don't know how to say that. Crypto Jabra. But yeah, he had some pretty epic calls on ETH. And we were kind of on the same boat too, and we're like, yes, I feel it. I feel it, Mr. Krabs. But yeah, and I think it closed, right? Because you had to take profit set. You had to you had like a full take profit on let's look at our ETH trade. Because we got in, I'll show you where we got in. We got to go to the 4 hour. We got in on this dip right here. We were like, we saw that, and wait, was it down? Was it right here? I guess it was, yeah. Okay, so we got in on this. Oh, yes, this is why. Okay, I remember. Because we dipped below in this purple box. The purple box was this like range. I marked it as this range because it was this same range right here, because it was this big on the 4 hour an inverse head and shoulders. Okay, so it had an inverse head and shoulders, and then it broke down kind of far, and that was like a mega opportunity right there. Like that 2130 right there. Woo! That was like whoever got that is a legend. This one right here, epic, because that's like where you have to have like some stable coins on the side. I always try and remind myself, I'm like, if you can get stable coins, if you can have stable coins just locked and loaded, ready to go, it could even be 20. It could be $20. It could be $20, and all you got to do is just strike when the iron is hot, and you can turn that $20 into freaking. Oh, God, this is crazy. You guys don't realize that the small amount of margin and what you can do with like $20 and 40x leverage. Because that's 41%. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. So, but we didn't get it right there at that low. But what we did is we got it around here. We got it in this purple box. Said, look, if it breaks out of the inverse head and shoulders, then we'll be getting a pretty sweet entry. And we saw it right there. And then we had just been taking profits all the way up into these uptrends, and also going back into the trades. But right now, we've tested out doing a few, taking a little bit of the profits off the ETH trades and then going into these other altcoins that we're currently breaking out. One of them being Pingu, another one being Pepe, but we just we missed the opportunity. Well, we didn't miss the opportunity. We got stopped out. But Pingu is just crushing. I think it's just like trying to eye this all-time high. Right now, we went into the Pingu trade. We're up 114%. We just used a little bit of margin. The actual true price target that I'm actually eyeing right now for Pingu, because it's so strong. I mean, they're just trying to like take over. They're raiding right now. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like Pingu is raiding. Like Urukai, Lord of the Rings style village, like going into the villages, and everyone is turning into a penguin. So, like them or not, pudgy penguins are taking over. And so it's like Luca is basically like getting everyone to lick the boot, and everyone's taking a big lick of the boot. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. And so I think like Pingu is trying to basically go and just crush its all-time high. And we're not going to deny the trend that's happening here. And so let's see, what was Pingu's all-time high? And also, the pudgy penguins are getting absolutely outrageously expensive. It's outrageous. They're $43,000, and I mean, you're thinking, like, okay, compared to what the CryptoPunks were and the apes and the a lot of the popular NFT top collections. I mean, there was like the Azukis at a point where we're insane. Yeah, I mean, like right now, you go to Magic Eden. Real quick, let's see. Yeah, pudgy penguins, the CryptoPunks, the floors of these things. Yeah, right now, like pudgy's, the floor is 13 ETH. And let's see, Damage Control, the Chromie Squiggle, Bored Ape Yacht Club. These are still 11. These are 11 ETH floors still. Beeple's Spring Summer Collection is 12 ETH floor. But yeah, it's just Pudgy Penguins is literally, I think, gonna end up surpassing CryptoPunks. I mean, it's possible that Pudgies will end up getting up into the CryptoPunks, but you guys gotta remember though, the floor for the Sprotos. Go back. The floor for the Sprotos right now is, let's see, floor price 0.02. Is that the floor? No, the floor is 0.74. I believe that's the floor, is like 0.74 for the Sprotos. But this was at 4 ETH not that long ago. This is at 4 ETH not that long ago. Some of these are priced up pretty high. We got some that are like, that are offered at 1.5. Some of them I'm sure that are probably offered at like a pretty penny as well. But yeah, lowest price right now, and I think this is definitely top tier NFT collection. We got to get one of these little cheeky Sprotos. That one kind of like looks perfect. It looks like he's wearing glasses. This Sproto would fit me perfect. Please, no one buy this one. I want this one. I would like that one. That one's cool. But yeah, Pingu. Let's go back to Pingu. Pingu's all-time high was 5 cents. The market cap. What did the market cap get to? What was that market cap? 2.6 billion, and it's pudgies. And this like takeover that's happening, I think this could be a Doge level type takeover. You think Dogecoin right now, top 8 cryptocurrency in the world by market cap at 30 billion. Yeah, pudgies is gonna. I mean, it's gonna be pretty fascinating what ends up happening with the token, the NFTs, the ecosystem, and just memes in general. Like, we're just bullish memes. Like, I'm rooting for everyone. Really, like at this point, like I'm just like, hey, I'm rooting. Shipman, I'm telling you, don't ignore it, because I mean, like, you don't want to ignore the obvious winner. Like, if it's winning and they're doing all these and they're really trying to take over in terms of like, they're thinking about the market and the branding a way different than most projects are. Like, they're trying to get in the minds. They're trying to like program. It's kind of like diabolical what they're doing. They're getting into the minds of everyone that doesn't even invest in crypto. But then that's how you onboard people. You're like, what? They're going to be like, well, oh yeah, I know pudgies. They're going to know the Pudgy Penguin character. They're going to buy the pudgies. Well, but it's not, Shipman. It's not just marketing. I get it. I know, but it's not. Don't just say it's just marketing. Marketing is what actually gets people to buy stuff. You see it enough. That's I've explained this, and my friend has explained it to me. He's like, this is how these companies make so much money. Do you realize how much they spend on marketing and commercials and to get you to see their brand and get you to buy it? But see, that's the thing though. But of course everyone does. Everyone wants to. But see, that 10 million coin, it's a flash in the pan, and your success rate of buying a coin that's at 10 million and it to run to 2 billion is very small. It's very small. So it's kind of like, for an example of the stock market, okay, go buy some penny stocks you've never heard of, and or invest in Amazon when they were just still selling books, but you saw the potential that they were possibly going to take over the world. Right there. Perfect. Amazon still crashed a few times, went down, the chart was a little volatile, but at the end of the day, Amazon ended up being a major winner, and just went into like every sector where they're like, now we're going to start selling products. Now we're going to start to be a reseller. We're going to this is complete. Now we have Amazon Web Services, and just, oh my gosh. Then it was like, this is how you have to think about these things. It's like, okay, like hype is becoming so valuable because it's like the nature of how like you see how people are liking perps and trading and all that stuff, the rewards you can get, the incentives. Hyperliquid is implemented and being used for the back ends of company and projects that want to use perps. So it's like, okay, there's the value, there's the use case. And yes, it is at 15 billion. It's pretty valued up, but not to say that it wasn't. It was just not that long ago. It was at a $1 billion market cap. So from 1 billion to 15 billion, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. Shipman, I want $300K profit from $500. I know we all do. All right, I'm about to imagine some book dork and stonks get rich. I know. It's like, I know, like someone, I bet someone that was like, had a little money, got it from his grandpa, you know, had a, you know, was like a bit, you know, set up an investing account and, you know, was really into books, just like real bookworm. Was like, you know, I think Amazon, I think Amazon, you know, is a good bet. Did you get stopped out of the Brett trade? Yes. I took yes, I got stopped out. I took all the, where's the position? Let me see. Here it is. I got stopped out at 5 cents, 5.377, but this is what the position looked like after the fact. I think at total, because yeah, it got stopped out at like 20, at like I lost like 20 bucks or something, but total profit I made on it was, gosh, what was it? %. As you can see, my, you know, I have some losses, I have some wins. I mean, it's, you know, but this is actually the spread. I'll show you. But we're trying to keep an eye on this this Pingu trade because it is currently breaking out and it's looking really good. All right, let's look. I'm gonna go to futures. We'll go to P&L analysis. All right, so recent 7-day P&L has been 415, so not too bad. As you can see, like beginning of the month was a little choppy. Then in the weekend it got a little bit better, and then this last week was a lot better. I feel like I was doing really well. I was being a little bit more patient, and I just got really good entries on Bitcoin and ETH, as you can see. Tuesday was like 28 average. Wednesday was 101. Thursday was 69. Friday was really good, where it was 234. And then Saturday, I just made like a FOMO trade and just like shouldn't have traded. I was just like, I should have just stepped back. And then Sunday, I made it back. And then today took a little bit of a hit. But then I'm already up on that little hit right there. So definitely looking pretty solid overall. So the cumulative P&L kind of increasing from where I was. And also I've withdrawn out a lot of this too. I've withdrawn out just straight USDT. I've also spot bought you know, some of the stuff that I like, but yeah, so it's looking pretty good. All right, so that's it for today. I think that's about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the rant stream. I feel like it was like more like a definite rant stream. So you can see, we were just talking about Pingu and the domination, and look, it's just breaking out. So it's trying to eye that all-time high. Watch out for Pingu. Watch out for Bitcoin, ETH. Go back and watch the video that I released recently if you didn't get a chance to check that out. Really appreciate the likes on that one. Go and just like destroy the likes on that one. Like if you haven't liked it already, please do so. Thank you, and I appreciate every single one of you and the continued support, and hope you have a good rest of the day, and maybe I'll see you guys later. All right, peace.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.